Welcome to Randall's weather page. Today we're going to go over what happened with Laura, some of the effects of Laura, and stick around because towards the end of the video I'll be going over what has already got my eyebrow and my attention raised for the next system that might be, or systems that might be coming down the pipeline. But let's go over what happened with Laura really quick. Laura went in as a Category 4 hurricane with sustained winds of 150 miles per hour. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not very often that mainland United States gets 150 mile per hour sustained winds. It just doesn't happen every year. It really doesn't. So, you know, it's absolutely what happened with Laura is it was amazing to go from where she was 24 hours before landfall to what she became was crazy. So she went in around Cameron, Louisiana. If you go back and you check my Facebook page, last Sunday morning I put out an alert for Houston, Beaumont, and Cameron, Louisiana, not only for a hurricane hit, but for a possible major hurricane hit. Just some of the things that I was seeing on the models, plus what was going on in the Gulf at that time. And it went straight into Cameron, Louisiana. A lot of damage. Basically, if you go from Orange, Texas to DeRidder, Louisiana, over points east from there, lots of damages. Cameron, massive damage. Lake Charles, massive damage. DeRidder, damage. Orange, Texas, about half the city is damaged. And the damage goes all the way up. It just didn't stop there. We had damage all the way up into Arkansas. Some of the same things. You know, you had damaged roofs. You had trees down, power out, trees on houses, trees on cars. That went all the way up into Arkansas. So just a monster storm, absolute monster storm. And, you know, that name will be retired. There will not be another Laura after that. So that name will be retired. You won't see Laura again on hurricane names. So that's what happened with Laura. And it was crazy watching it go in. But as with all things, we now must move past Laura, not forgetting those who are affected, not forgetting y'all whatsoever, but we need to start looking forward into what might be coming down the pipeline. My eyebrows, they are raised. I'm going to go ahead and say Florida, East Coast, better start watching. I'm going to show you why right here in a second. Let me get you to this picture. What this picture is the picture of the National Weather Service in Lake Charles, Louisiana. What you're looking at, that would be the radar in Lake Charles, Louisiana, or what used to be the radar in Lake Charles, Louisiana. This would have a dome on it, and that would be the actual radar, and 133 mile per hour gust hit up against that radar and absolutely destroyed it. And I wish I had the picture. I don't have it, but also the news station, the big red and white tower. Laura took that, bent it, and took the top half of that tower and crashed it right into one of the news stations. Luckily, they had evacuated. But if not, it could have been a really, really serious situation. So once again, this is the National Weather Service office in Lake Charles. That is the radar. It's going to take some time to get that fixed. Just absolutely amazing. And once again, our thoughts and our prayers, our positivity is going out for those in Southwest Louisiana and extreme Southeast Texas for what they are going through right now. I know good people are going down there to help. Linemen are already down there. I saw Samaritan's Purse is down there. Salvation Army is down there. Southern Baptist Men Rescue Team is down there. just a bunch of good organizations are down there and trying to help y'all. And I know the federal government is heading down there. FEMA is heading down there also. So we're thinking about y'all. We haven't forgotten y'all, but as with when you're in the middle of the busiest part of the season, you must look forward. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start looking forward. And the next named storm would be Nana. And the one after that would be Omar. Boy, let's hope Nana is not like some mean old Nana. We don't need mean Nana. I'm going to take you to, this is the icon. This is the German numerical model. And I just want to show you, the icon only goes out 120 hours. But what I wanted to show you on the icon is two things. Two areas to watch. One right down here and one right here. All right. We'll have to watch that. Icon has that going up. So really want to watch that. Whenever the icon starts picking up on stuff, I generally tend to pay attention to what is going on. Let me move past. Oh, let me also say, this is from Jim Williams at hurricanecity.com. You want to know from 5 days out what model performed best on where the center of Laura was. The number one model was the UK Met. I've been talking about that since Sunday. The UK Met performed very, very well for the 5 days. Next would be the GFS model. The GFS did pretty good on this. The European model got better as time went on, but the European model, I always look at day 3, was 115 miles off. The GFS was 108 miles off. The UK Met model was 63 miles off. Your GM model, which is your Canadian model, was 163 days off on center, and then your Navy model was 194. Jim Williams does a really good job of keeping track on what systems performed, what numerical models perform better on systems. So big shout out to the UK Met, which was pretty much right on from 5 days out. Your GFS and your European got better 3 days out. 4 days out in, let's just say 4 days out in, your GFS and your European got better. And your Canadian came around the last 2 days, and also your Navy. But 5 days out, you know, there's a hands down winner 5 days out, and that was the UK Met model. So good job, UK Met. UK Met has constantly gotten better over the past 5 years. Different models perform differently on different systems, and I want to make this very clear. Different models perform differently on different systems. You get an overall view, but at the same time, just because your UK Met model was the best on Laura does not guarantee that your UK Met will be the best on Nana or Omar. It might be the GFS that does better, or the European model that does better on the next system. But if you take an overall view of the models, right now, your Euro model, your UK Met model, your GFS model, those are your 3 that I put in tier 1, okay? And you can't just look at one model and say, this is what's going to happen. That's not what meteorologists do. That's not what the National Hurricane Center does. If that's the case, Houston would have been the target for day 3 out for the National Hurricane Center, but no, they stuck to where it was going in, right at the Texas-Louisiana border, and boy, they were right on. So, but on the models, just because UK Met did great on Laura does not mean that they'll be the best performer on Nana or Omar, but you know, you tend to put that in the back of your mind, and I do when I'm looking at models. UK Met, Euro, GFS. If you get a consistency out of all 3 of those, and they're all saying the same thing, I'm starting to really look hard. Okay, I'm gonna take this off my ugly face again and get it back onto right here. This tweet, Philip Klotzbach, who's really good, I follow him. Here's how the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season stacks up with the average season to date. Pretty much, it's active. If you come over here and take a look, named storms, and this is through August the 29th. We have 13 named storms this year. On average, it's only 4. That's up 283%. Named storm days, 38.25, normal is 17, up 222. Hurricanes 4, we only usually have about 2. Hurricane days, 5.5, 5.2. Major hurricanes, 1.6. Major hurricane days, 1.1. And accumulated cyclonic energy, 42 compared to 25. I tend to go and base seasons, let me get this back on my ugly face. I tend to go and base seasons off the ACE index, the accumulated cyclonic energy. And I base that just as much as I do on named storms. You can see named storms, yes, it's there's a lot of them, but that accumulated cyclonic energy, that tells you what kind of season it is. Because you can have a bunch of named storms, but if you have a bunch of tropical storms that are named and not a lot of hurricanes, your ACE index would be lower. But if you have a lot of let's say it's a normal season, let me keep back on here. Let's say it's a normal season and you have, keep grabbing this, you have 4 named storms, but all 4 named storms end up being hurricanes, then your ACE index is higher. So I really look, when I'm gauging a season, on ACE index just as much as I look on named storms, because your ACE index tells you how powerful of a season that you're having. Not how many, but how powerful of a season that you're having. And as you can tell, I keep touching that as you can tell, 42 compared to 25, your ACE index values already for this year is up 168%. So great info there from Philip. He's a good follower on Twitter. If you ever want to go follow him, great information comes out of him. Now I'm going to show you some model trends. I do believe that this one is the GFS. Yes, it is. Okay. East Coast, Florida, and the East Coast. I'm telling you right now, let's start paying attention now to what is out in, what is coming off of Africa. You have 2 waves that are coming off of Africa. I thought I put that in here somewhere. Maybe I didn't. I guess I didn't. Well, here it is right there. Okay. 2 waves that are coming off Africa right now. You got wave 1 that's at 20% to possibly become a tropical depression or more in the next 48 hours. It jumps up to 30% after 48 hours. And then you have storm or area number 2, which it has 0% of developing in the next 48 hours, but it jumps up to 40% after 48 hours. For people on the East Coast, I've said it several times now, people on the East Coast in Florida, this is the one that we're going to watch right here and see if this trends up north. And I'll show you why. This is trending towards the Yucatan Peninsula, somewhere in the Caribbean Sea, somewhere in the Yucatan Peninsula. Trends on this one, trends for almost all the models on this don't show much happening whatsoever. I'm going to show you the trends on this one though. This one. Okay. And let's take a look at what's going on. This is the GOES. This is system number 1. I'm going to count all this. This is system number 2 back here. This in yellow, this is a water vapor image. This in yellow is dry air. So out in front of 1 is a whole bunch of dry air. Number 2, not much. Okay, not much to inhibit it at this moment. but things change, right? So, 1, 2 that we're watching. Dry air. This dry air. And by the way, this right up here, that is the remnants of Laura. Okay? Let's go back to this trend. This is a GFS. And basically, what I've done is I've gone through and I'm showing you 5 runs, the 5 last runs of the GFS. This is the American model. I'm not saying this is where the next big system is going to be. I'm just saying, hey, East Coast and Florida, we need to watch. Now this is over 300 hours out. So on this, you don't look at intensity whatsoever. What you're looking for is just kind of general trends that you see. And out of the last 5 runs of the GFS, notice what's over here in most of the runs. There's a system out here. Now this is the GFS, this is the American model, trying to sniff something going on out here in the Atlantic, 300 hours out. So 244 would be 10 days, so we're talking about past 10 days. You don't look for intensity, you don't necessarily look for a pinpoint spot, you just look for that far out, you just look for generalities. And the generalities in the GFS model is it's trying to sniff something out here in the Atlantic. So it's something that we definitely need to keep our eyes on. Okay, this is number 2 down here, or excuse me, number 1. That's number 2 disturbed area. Number 1 down here, GFS has something down here, but it's more over the Yucatan Peninsula. It doesn't really see much going on with it at this point. It does see something trying to brew out here. Now this is a GFS model. I'm going to move over to the Canadian model. Notice what the Canadian model is trying to see out here. And once again, this is, 300 hours out, past 300 hours out. You're not looking for pressures. You're not looking for general pinpoint areas. You're looking for, look, the Canadian model's also sniffing something out here. So I'm just saying, East Coast and Florida, you need to pay attention because if you have a couple of models seeing something going on out here, there is some type of, they're seeing something kind of the same. Not guaranteeing anything. I'm not guaranteeing anything. The models aren't guaranteeing anything. I am just kind of showing, I'm trying to show you what I go in and what I look for so I can see what type of areas I should be concentrating on. And I say, okay, hey, look, maybe this is the next area that we really need to watch. Not guaranteeing anything, not saying it's going to be a major storm that hits. I'm just saying, hey, if you look at this model and if you look at this model, which is the American and the Canadian, they're both of them are sniffing something out here. So once again, don't look at pressure, don't look at specific spots. Just say, hey, look, I have 2 individual models that are sniffing something off the East Coast, and this is an area that we just need to watch. That's all I'm saying. And that's all the models are telling me is no, I'm not saying anything about impact. No, I'm not saying a major hurricane. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying this is the next region, me personally, that I'm going to be watching for. And people in Florida and on the East Coast need to be watching this area too. Now, it can change. We can be 3 days from now and not see anything. The models won't see anything out there. That could be a possibility. Or they can continue to try to sniff something out. I'm just telling you right now, I'm watching this area because the models are kind of saying, hey, kind of watch over in this area. So I'm going to be watching that area. You can watch along with me. And let's see if the models correctly sniff something out 10 days past, or 10 days or more into the future. They got a decent track record of trying to find something, especially when you see multiple runs of different models saying, hey, take a look over here. One more time. This is a GFS. It's seeing, and its model runs right out here. It's seeing something right out here. This is a Canadian model, and it also keeps seeing something in the general vicinity out here. So it's just something that we need to watch, something we will continue to watch. So that's my update that I have right now for you. Thank you very much. Remember, you need to go to my YouTube page. And I dropped my pen. You go to my YouTube page, and you need to subscribe to my YouTube page. Make sure to hit that bell so you can see whenever I go live or whenever I put up a new video. You need to go to my Facebook page, Randall's Weather page, and you need to click on that, like it, and make sure you get it to where you see my page first when you sign on. And then Randall's Weather page on Twitter. I put screenshots. I kind of do my daily musings on my Twitter, and then I try to do a video to show you what's going on. So thank y'all very much for coming to my page. Thank you for listening to me. We'll keep a watch out on the tropics. And once again, people that are affected by Laura, our thoughts, our prayers, our positivity is going out to you. You're going to make it. It's going to be a better day. And we're right here with you. See y'all later.